For greetings, favored ones. The Lord is with you. I was visiting somebody recently for whom life is pretty challenging and going through some significant changes. And at one point in the conversation, I was moved to say, you know, you have a really beautiful spirit. So what immediately came up for this person is feeling unworthy. What was true for Mary? She gets this greeting. God is with you. God is with you. Who am I to have God be with me? And also, so if God is with me, why is my life such a mess? What Mary did was to be able to take in this message from God. That God sees you and looks upon you with favor, loves you, and has something for you to do. And that something totally upended her life. Turned her inside out and upside down. Which is another reason why we tend sometimes to resist the sense that God looks on us with favor and loves us and has something for us. Because when that happens, it tends to turn our lives inside out and upside down, and we kind of would rather have them the way we know them. Just I went to see yesterday A Theory of Everything. How many of you read the book A Brief History of Time? Okay, the one person who probably did left after they read the reading. Right? It's about Stephen Hawking, this most amazingly brilliant physicist who early in his life got Lou Gehrig's disease. And he just started dating a student, a fellow student in Cambridge, an arts major. And so he gets this news that he has Lou Gehrig's disease, where you basically your muscles stop functioning. And usually you have about 2 years to live. It's a rapidly degenerative disease. So he didn't want to see anybody, especially his girlfriend. But she's clear that she loves him. And persists until he gets that she loves him and wants to be with him. And that so shifts his life, from this little cave that he's retreated into, where he has his life defined for himself now, to something totally different. And the irony really is that he's on a search for an equation which will explain everything in the universe, where actually that's already happened. Jesus has come and has explained to us that the basis of everything is love. And he wouldn't have been able to write his book if she hadn't loved him, because he'd be dead. And the good news is that love arrives, like it did with Mary. Love arrives moment by moment. Love is arriving. And when we stop and pay attention and open our hearts, that love changes us and invites us to change the world in which we live. turn everything upside down and change it. On the one hand, we really long for that. I mean, who wouldn't? Whose life is so perfect that it couldn't do with some significant change? On the other hand, change is scary, and it's hard to really trust that love is present and will move us in the direction we most deeply long for. So we kind of settle. This is reminded of the encounter that Thomas Merton, the Roman Catholic monk, had with the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama was asking him, so what do your vows mean to you? Are they simply a promise that you will live your life out in the monastery with this other group of monks? Or are they a framework for step by step on a mystical path? And Merton thought about it for a long time. He said, I believe that my vows are an invitation to total transformation in love. So I believe that the vows we took at baptism are that invitation to total transformation in love for ourselves and for the world. And that's what we do here on Sunday morning. Come to participate and be resourced in that transformation. Mostly, though, we lose courage, and there's so much more we could be as church. It's interesting, I was with some 20-somethings on Friday night for a Christmas party, mostly 20-somethings. And one of them was saying, most people in my generation have given up on church. They have no use for it at all. And the only ones who are interested in it are ones who wanted to totally change their lives. So I was thinking, all right, my next career I'm going to go work with 20-somethings. Because that's what I want. That's what I've always wanted, is to be in a community of faith where what's up for us is to have our life totally change. To be created by love, for love, and that's what we're about. Even when it's as absurd as finding yourself driven to love somebody who has Lou Gehrig's disease. You're not even engaged yet, right? You're just dating. This guy has Lou Gehrig's disease. But you're called to love him. How about that for upending your life? We're tentative about that in church. We tend to come here wanting our lives kind of together. And when we do find ourselves in a place where we really need to change, we find a therapist or a 12-step group or something else. And we don't talk about it too much inside the church, because here's where we're supposed to be together. No, here's where we're supposed to have our lives turned upside down and inside out by the love which keeps arriving. The love which says to us, greetings, favored ones, the Lord is with you. The Lord is with you. So how do we do that? How do we do that? Well, there is a process of reflection, which I've been using for decades and teaching people for decades. And I'm glad to teach you if you come downstairs after church and we spend an hour in the coffee hour. I'll teach you this process. If you can't do that, it's in the email I sent out inviting you to that. And if you need private lessons, ask Tricia. No, if you need private lessons, ask me or Tricia. Either of us would be glad to teach you. We did this in the vestry meeting, one version of it, this month. After I told the vestry that I was leaving in June. And what I did was I shared with them what I was aware of, how this was for me, what I was thinking, what I was feeling, what I was wanting, what I was sensing, what I was doing. And after I shared that, then each person had a chance to reflect. So with this news, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I sensing? What am I wanting? What am I doing? And we had some conversation together about the reality of our life. And in that real conversation, that prayerful conversation, something new arose. And the person who named it was Mark, who's now on the other end of that movie camera. And he said, you know, it's like for us at St. Mark's, it's like the training wheels are coming off. It's like the training wheels are coming off. And that's about the nicest thing anybody has ever said to me. that my departing from you, which is an occasion of deep sadness for me, and for some of you, perhaps even most of you, is also an opportunity for growth and freedom and new life. I think that's true for me. It is. And I'm sure that it's true for you too. That I have given a lot here and received a lot. And with the new families coming and the shift in what's happening, I think it's time for you to have somebody new. Much as we love each other, it's time. So greetings, favored ones. The Lord is with you. May we have the grace to say with Mary, here I am, a servant of the Lord. Let it be with me as God wills.